Now let me ask you a simple question. How many times have you held the second defender button, only for one of your defenders to leave his position? Your opponent finds the space he just created, and boom, you've conceded another stupid goal? Or maybe you're the type that holds the second defender button almost the entire match because you think it's helping you defend better. Well, that's probably one of the biggest reasons you're conceding goals. The funny thing is, the second defender button isn't a bad feature. In fact, it's one of the strongest defensive tools in FC Mobile. The problem is that most players have absolutely no idea when to use it. And more importantly, when not to use it. One wrong press can pull your defender out of position, open a massive gap in your backline, and give your opponent an easy goal. But one correct press can completely shut down an attack before it even becomes dangerous. So in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how the second defender button works, the biggest mistakes almost everyone makes with it, when you should use it, when you should avoid it, and how to combine it with manual defending to stop conceding so many easy goals. By the end of this video, you'll never look at the second defender button the same way again. Let's get into it. Before we jump into the gameplay, I need you to completely change the way you think about the second defender button. Some players think it's a button you hold to chase the ball. That's completely wrong. Instead, think of it as teamwork between you and the AI. I like to call it the trap and track method. Here's how it works. The moment you press the second defender button, the AI becomes the trap. Its job is simple: pressure the player on the ball, get in his face, force him to panic, and limit his options. And your job is the track, while the AI is applying the pressure. You should never just stand there watching. You're controlling the second defender manually. Track the dangerous run. Block the passing lane, cover the open space, and be ready for wherever the attacker tries to escape. That's the biggest mistake most players make. They press the second defender button and expect the AI to defend everything for them. No, the AI traps while you track. That's how defending becomes effective. Now, you can't just spam the second defender button everywhere. There are specific areas on the pitch where it's incredibly effective, and there are areas where pressing it is basically asking to concede. I like to call them the green zones and the red zones. Let's start with the green zones. The first green zone is the wings. This is probably the safest place to use the second defender. When your opponent is driving down the flank, press the button. Let the AI fullback or wide midfielder go and pressure the ball while you manually control your center back to stay inside the box. That way you're ready to stop cutbacks, fake shots, crosses, or any pass into the middle. The AI pressures, you protect the danger. Now the second green zone is the midfield. If your opponent is slowly building through the center, use your CDM or CM as the second defender to pressure the ball carrier. The beauty of this is that your back four stays in shape while your midfield does the dirty work. You win the ball higher up the pitch without dragging your defenders out of position. The third green zone is after a heavy touch. The moment your opponent takes a poor touch, faces his own goal, or gets trapped near the touchline, that's your signal. Press the second defender button immediately and double team him. Those are the moments where the AI becomes extremely effective because the attacker has very few escape options. Now listen carefully, because this next part is the most important lesson in the entire video. Honestly, knowing when not to press the second defender button is even more important than knowing when to use it. One bad press can completely destroy your defensive shape, and once your backline is broken, recovering is very difficult. So let's talk about the red zones. Red zone number 1 is whenever your center backs are the last line of defense. If your opponent is launching a counterattack through the middle and your defenders are running back, do not press the second defender button. I repeat, don't press it. The AI will often pull one of your center backs out of the defensive line to chase the ball, leaving a huge gap for an easy through pass. Instead, keep tracking back manually. Switch to the correct defender and stay patient. Your priority here is protecting the middle, not winning the ball instantly. The second red zone is against players who are very good at skill moves. The AI always presses in a straight line, and experienced dribblers know exactly how to exploit that. They'll beat the AI with one skill move and suddenly they're running straight at your defense. Now, this doesn't mean you should never use the second defender against skillers. You absolutely can. You just need to know how to use it properly. And I'll show you that in a moment. So how do you actually use the second defender button properly? The biggest mistake players make is treating it like a button they're supposed to hold all game. Don't do that. Instead, use what I call the hold and release method. Hold the button for just 1 or 2 seconds to send your AI teammate towards the attacker and close the gap. But before your AI reaches him, let go of the button. This is the important part. Releasing it stops your defender from blindly diving into a tackle and getting beaten by a simple turn or skill move. It keeps him in front of the attacker, forcing him to slow down instead of giving him a free way through. This applies to both semi-auto and auto defending. If you keep holding the button until your defender reaches the attacker, he'll usually attempt an automatic tackle. If the attacker beats that tackle, your defender is out of the game and your defensive shape is broken. Once the AI has slowed the attacker down, that's your moment. Switch to that defender yourself and make the tackle manually. That's where you should be winning the ball, not by hoping the AI does everything for you. Now, this doesn't mean you always have to switch. Sometimes the AI will win the ball on its own, especially on the wings where the attacker has very little space to escape. If your opponent is running down the touchline and your AI is closing from behind, while you're covering the box manually, just let the AI do its job. Right here, my opponent beat my fullback and started driving towards my penalty box. This is a very dangerous situation, so instead of rushing out with my center back, I stayed patient and kept my defensive shape. I manually covered the dangerous space inside the box, while calling my fullback back using the second defender button. Now my fullback is chasing him from behind while I'm blocking the inside. My opponent thinks he has enough time to cut inside for a finesse shot, but because I delayed him instead of diving in, my fullback catches up from behind and wins the ball cleanly. That's exactly how you should use the second defender button. Let the AI apply pressure from behind while you stay in control of the dangerous areas. Don't chase the ball, protect the space. But those situations are specific. They don't happen every attack. Here's another quick tip. Always keep an eye on the orange cursor above your AI defender. If you notice it's one of your center backs and he's starting to leave the defensive line, release the second defender button immediately. The earlier you let go, the faster your backline recovers its shape. And honestly, the best advice I can give you is this. Don't force yourself to use the second defender button. Less is more. The best defenders don't spam it. In fact, if you've watched my 1-hour H to H grind video where I went from 50 to 60 stars, you'll notice I barely touched the second defender button. There's a good chance I didn't even use it once throughout those matches. That's because I only press it when the situation is perfect. Most of the time, I'm defending manually. The more you rely on the AI, the more chances you give yourself to make mistakes. So instead of asking yourself, when should I press the second defender button? Start asking yourself, do I really need to press it here? That one question alone will improve your defending. At the end of the day, defending an FC Mobile isn't about being aggressive. It's about being patient, protecting your shape, and choosing the right moment to apply pressure. Master the hold and release method. Stop dragging your defenders out of position, and you'll start conceding far fewer goals. If this masterclass helped you, make sure you leave a like and subscribe because I've got plenty more tactical guides coming your way. Let me know in the comments, how often do you actually use the second defender button? Every match, sometimes, or almost never. Thank you guys for watching, and I would see you in the next one. It's your boy Channel Joe. Peace.